From 1999 to 2023, the Washington Redskins would find almost no major success, making a playoff appearance only 6 times and winning only 2 playoff games over the span of 24 years. Washington was hopeless. Along the way, the Redskins would find gems, whether it be players on the offense or defense, or someone on the coaching staff. But talent alone wouldn't be enough to save this franchise, because there was always one person impeding any bit of success. Of course, I'm talking about the owner of the franchise. Dan Snyder was really great at ruining this football team. I mean, he is regarded as one of the worst, maybe the worst owner in NFL history for a reason. Fortunately, after more than 2 decades, his reign of terror would come to an end in 2023, after leading the now Commanders to a 4-13 record in his final year. And after a lot of allegations, Dan Snyder was essentially forced to step down and sell the team.
This is the greatest day, aside from the 91 greatest NFL team ever. The city gets its team back. This is so great.
But he would leave the Commanders one final thing, one final farewell gift. The number 2 overall pick, aka, well, you already know his name.
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels. Quarterback, LSU.
In 1997, Jack Ken Cook, the then owner of the Washington Redskins, would pass away. In his tenure as the owner, the Redskins would win 3 Super Bowls in the span of 9 years. Under Jack's ownership, Washington was really good. And in May of 1999, it would be official. The Washington Redskins were now under new management, marking the beginning of their worst era in franchise history. Surprisingly, Snyder's first year as the Redskins owner would be a good one. The team, led by quarterback Brad Johnson and head coach Morv Turner, would end the season with a 10-6 record, securing first place in the division and making the playoffs. The Redskins would overcome the Lions in a wild card, but would ultimately fall short to the Buccaneers in the divisional round. This season was by all means a good season, and in 2000, Dan Snyder wanted to aim higher. Having just absolutely fleeced the Saints in the 1999 draft, the Redskins had an abundance of resources. They had 3 first-round picks, which they would use to select future 3-time Pro Bowler in linebacker LeVar Arrington and 6-time Pro Bowler in offensive tackle Chris Samuels. Snyder had also made a big push to sign a lot of veteran players in free agency, namely the addition of Primetime himself. And in just one offseason, the Redskins now had Super Bowl expectations. But this season would not pan out as expected. After starting the season 7-6, Dan Snyder would actually fire his head coach Morv Turner mid-season, a very impulsive decision. Snyder always had a win-out mentality. He always wanted to find success immediately, leading him to make some very poor choices. Funny enough, the Redskins under Snyder would find anything but success. The next 2 decades would be filled with mediocrity for the Redskins franchise. 2005 would be the last little bit of success that Washington would ever find, as this would be the last time they would ever win a playoff game. In 2015, the Redskins would finish 9-7, marking the last time that the Washington Redskins would achieve a positive record. This team was in purgatory. Fortunately, 1,200 miles south in San Bernardino, their future savior would begin his football career. Jayden Daniels, born in San Bernardino, would begin attending Cajon High School in 2015, where he would make the varsity team and be named the starting quarterback as a freshman. It wouldn't take long for Daniels to showcase his talent. He would end his freshman season throwing for almost 2,700 yards, had 35 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. For anyone, this was a really good season, but this would pale in comparison to what Jayden Daniels would do soon after. By his senior season, he was throwing for over 4,500 yards, had 76 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. Daniels had ended his high school career with over 14,000 passing yards and over 200 touchdowns. Jayden Daniels was unheard of, and it's no surprise he was easily seen as the best dual threat quarterback in the class of 2019. And it also shouldn't be surprising that every school in the nation wanted him. But instead of going to a big name school like Ohio State or Alabama, Jayden Daniels decided to commit to Arizona State. The Arizona State Sun Devils, led by former NFL head coach Herm Edwards, weren't exactly known for being a powerhouse or anything special for that matter, but they were offering Jayden Daniels a starting quarterback position. So in just his freshman year of college, Daniels immediately got playing time. His first season in college would turn out to be a good one, leading the Sun Devils to an 8-5 record, which included an upset win over the number 6 ranked Oregon Ducks. Jayden Daniels ended his freshman season with under 3,000 passing yards and 20 touchdowns. 2019 was an incredible season for Daniels considering it was just his first year. However, 2020 was looking even more promising. That is, until the pandemic hit and completely derailed everything. The lockdown led to football season being bare bones as Arizona State only played 4 games. Now, 2021 was the season where Jayden Daniels was actually supposed to take that next leap forward, but instead of improving, Jayden Daniels actually had his worst season of his entire football career, throwing for under 2,400 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He also led the Sun Devils to an 8-5 record, well technically 0-5 because the school ended up vacating all their wins due to some NCAA violations. The school that year was all over the place, and rightfully so. Jayden Daniels didn't want to stun his career because of them. So in February of 2022, Jayden Daniels would enter the transfer portal, a move that his teammates did not approve of.
Clear this shit out. He out of this. Suck anyway.
Having just left his team behind, Jayden Daniels was looking for a school that would allow him to maximize his potential. The school that he ended up choosing was all the way in the Deep South, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana State University. At LSU, Daniels would be surrounded with talent. He was being protected by one of the best O-lines in the country and would be throwing some elite neighbors, probably the best rookie receiver in the NFL this year, and Brian Thomas Jr. At the head coach position, Brian Kelly would be leading the team. Jayden Daniels would easily win a starting quarterback position, and 2022 would end up being a pretty good season for Jayden Daniels, leading LSU to a 9-3 record and ending with almost 3,000 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, and 900 rushing yards. No doubt a really good season. Most college quarterbacks would be more than happy to put up these numbers, and most college quarterbacks would declare for the draft now while their stock was still high. But Daniels wanted one more year, one more season to prove that he could be even better, and in 2023, he did just that.
That's what he does to the end zone for Lacey. Got it. Touchdown. Quarterback draw. The C's part. There goes Daniels again. He's looking for the end zone. Touchdown. Looks again. Daniels stands tall. Going deep. End zone. Touchdown. Leaves one long. And it is caught for the touchdown. 8 touchdowns tonight for Jayden Daniels.
Ending the season with over 3,800 passing yards on a 72 completion percentage, 1,100 rushing yards, and 50 total touchdowns, Jayden Daniels was the best college football player in 2023, evident by the fact that, well, he won the Heisman Trophy. Having just played the best season of his career, Jayden Daniels would declare for the 2024 draft. However, he did have some problems that teams accounted for. Mainly, it was the fact that he was just really skinny. Listed at 6'4" and 210 pounds, Jayden Daniels is one of the lightest quarterbacks in the NFL. But he's also one of the most explosive. A big part of Daniels' game has always been that he's very mobile. And that wasn't going to change in the NFL. The Washington Commanders, who were just recently freed from the shackles of Dan Snyder and ended the season 4-12, were looking for a quarterback in the 2024 draft. And with their number 2 overall pick, they seemingly found their guy.
And here we go, Daryl Johnston, the first moments of Jayden Daniels' NFL career in the regular season.
In his NFL debut, Daniels would face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He would end up throwing for 184 yards, rushing for 88 yards, and finding the end zone twice. But it was week 3 against the Bengals that would officially put him on the map.
We've only got 10 guys on the field. They're down and 7. This one is launched from McLaurin. He's got it. Touchdown! Touchdown!
Daniels would find the end zone 3 times and would throw for 250 yards on a 91 completion percentage. And he would do this every single week, scoring touchdown after touchdown.
Back of the end zone. McLaurin has it.
And now here we are.
Comes down to one last play. And it's going to be, here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh my goodness! This town is going crazy!
The Commanders, a team that haven't experienced any success in a very long time, are now looking like one of the best up-and-coming teams in the NFL. Head coach Dan Quinn and the front office have put together a good football team, with the Commanders starting off strong in 2024 and Jayden Daniels leading not just a very strong Rookie of the Year campaign, but also a case for MVP, breaking records and putting up historical numbers, and just simply having fun. Washington finally has hope. Expectations were not high coming into the season, but this Commanders team has rejuvenated a franchise that for decades was hopeless, a franchise that for years was being sabotaged by its own owner. If the Commanders play their cards right, they're looking at a very bright future for years to come with Jayden Daniels.